Welcome to Ellie Goldsmith's Unity Flow podcast. We're excited to bring a bunch of Unity bookings updates for the summer and winter months of 2022. Thank God we've already entered the summer here in the Holy Land in Yerushalayim. Personally, I'm sitting in my office, so if there's any noise, I apologize in advance. I'm excited to give over some great news that we have new Unity bookings, involvement of wonderful artists and speakers, which we will get through today, hopefully within a quick time, so you can get the information and also some inspiration in the process. Thank God to remind you that we are going ahead with our Relationship Flow podcast. My wife, Soulmate, has joined us there, and obviously our Emunah is our future podcast, weekly class and classes. We will put at the end of this episode a special edition of the most recent class with Dr. Epstein, Dr. Benjamin Epstein, PhD. He joined us, Living in the Present, and a very special class focused on that book and his book, and also the concepts of mindfulness being brought into a spiritual realm, together with Bainani Official, who did the music, amazing quality music, thanks to our friend Bainani, aka Shmuel Stenger. And that will be the end of this episode. So stick around. For those who didn't hear it on the Emunah Our Future podcast, it will go there directly, and we're putting it here as well as maybe possibly putting our latest episode as we did in the previous one. We put in a few extra episodes as well. If you go back to promoting Emunah Global and United Souls Global, you'll check out a lot of updates and amazing episodes on the previous episode here, as well as the previous updates. So we're not going to go over things that were already mentioned. We're going to only bring out the new Unity bookings, exciting inclusions and hopes for the future. And this is relevant for everyone out there, because in all your communities and all your simchot events and opportunities to host and be inspired, it can be done obviously online. It's always an option. The Zoom option is still available. I know everyone got zoomed out during the last few years, but hopefully now that it's less often, it's more meaningful, and that's always a Zoom option, online option, as well as all the different streaming apps which we do on our other podcasts like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. We can always do a live feed there as well. But let's get to the in-person experience that we hope that we will be sharing together now that, thank God, this corona epidemic has somewhat subsided, even though they're talking about a comeback, like Return of the Jedi, but Return of the Sith or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it, but hopefully it's going to go away. So let's go ahead. We are happy to announce Unity bookings artists for summer, winter 2022. This is all being put in our blogcast. I hope that word is a new word, but I just think that it really resonates with my podcast and the blogcast that I'm bringing together, a combination of podcasting and blogging. So blogging has gone a bit out of fashion, so we come up with a new word, blogcast. Yes, so Reuven Garber, he is available as all our other artists. Unity bookings excites during a special time of weddings, events and simchot. During the beginning of the summer, the end of the summer, a lot of simchot going on as well, obviously through the autumn and winter. Personally, I'm going to be next week in Amsterdam for anyone who wants to hit me up. The end of the week, I would love to stay there a few days, but it looks like I'm only going to be there a day. I'm still optimistic. You never know, it could work out. I get there to be a little bit longer than I end up being, but nevertheless, just to be there, I'm going there for a wedding, and we'll mention that as we go ahead who will be performing there. But the exciting point is Reuven Garber is not performing, but he is our first Unity bookings artist, because he made the effort to create an amazing flyer that he's pushing forth as a wedding singer, and he's obviously doing really well out of the chuppot and all the chuppahs, all the wedding canopies, as well as singing at the events for the dancing and everything else. He's got a really sincere, amazing voice, originally from South Africa, and you will remember him as part of the band Derech Achim. Personally, that's one of my favourite bands that's come out of Africa, and Reuven Garber is definitely the lead singer and the energy behind it. So he is leading us forward with his recent Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael, to the Holy Land, as a great option for your weddings and Simchot events. We also have the amazing, obviously we all know that I'm going to bring him down, Nissim Black. He is available for events, as always. Been booking with Nissim for years now, and obviously now with his profile growing, that he's going to be appearing on HBO Max and other such things, that he is obviously gone up in price, but he's also gone up in quality. Is going to be having a lot of new songs, and he's also podcasting as well, so we'll be seeing new footage and new action from him as he gives his updates. Just check it out on nissimofficial.com, and also for booking purposes, please reach out to me. I know he has a manager who does a great job, Aaron Fogelson, but I'm also here in the game, and as I've been doing this for years, longer than anyone, I always appreciate the opportunities to book Nissim Black and bring him either as a singer, an artist, speaker, however you want him to come to your event, and we'll make it happen. And once again, all the information how to book is always below in the podcast links and information description, as you call it. Unity Inspires Projects at gmail.com is the easiest way to reach out to me, or to call me at my WhatsApp +972 53 317 5856. So that's Nissim Black. So we've got Ruben Garvin, Nissim Black. Now let's go to the next exciting announcement. Duvi Shapiro, already mentioned previously that he's now Unity Bookings, and we had our first event with him for a yeshiva program, and that was a big success. So you guys should make an effort to reach out to Duvi Shapiro. Great energy, and he'll hopefully be putting out some new content in the near future. But in the meanwhile, he has already a great set for the weddings and Simchot, so reach out for him. Also, a good friend of mine, Eliezer Kosoy, he has a band Elion with Jonathan Hill, and excellent quality music, very Simon and Garfunkel style. If you want a bit more like a chilled energy for your wedding, and more sincere sort of style music in terms of the soul energy, and he's one of my oldest friends here, so I'm always up for booking him at Unity Bookings. Eliezer Kosman, and he's done many weddings, including my own. He sang at my chuppah, my wedding, as did Menachem Herman back in the day, and it was very important that he was able to join us then as well, because he's someone who we'd happily book for as well. I want to just also mention that we have many other musicians and artists who will not be appearing on this episode, but thank God there is so many amazing updates that will keep coming, and it's up to you to just reach out to me directly, and I'll give you the full list, as I said the email already before. So who's performing in Amsterdam? That's the question. We got Eitan Katz. Eitan Katz, everyone knows, who's out there in the Jewish music world, is one of the established wedding singers. He'll be available and performing for us with his full band in Amsterdam next week, and hopefully in the future events you guys can reach out to me as well, book through me. I had a very easy flow with him getting this set up, and I'm happy to perform that service for you guys to make it as smooth as possible. The Shira Choir will also be performing, a Hasidic band and choir rather, who will be singing a cappella style. They can also perform with a band, but their main skill is the a cappella style. One of the famous singers who was amongst them back in the day was Sholem Lemma, and they often sing with many other famous singers, and they themselves have continue to have an established group of well-known singers and have a tremendous experience in the wedding world, and it's an exciting addition that we have a Hasidic choir as part of Unity Bookings. Thank God there's a great opportunity now to focus not just on the Simchot and the weddings, but on the speaker side. I'm going to be putting this out, as I said, as a blogcast, the Unity Booking speakers. So we have amazing speakers as well. Obviously, as always, I'm touring, and I hope not just online with all our wonderful guests, but Rav Orish, we hope, will be having a full recovery, so we'll be joining you in person in New York. My hope is for November time. That would be a great speaking tour for him, and hopefully Rav Dayan Elgod will be the main speaker for that, and you can check that out on our amunalive.com channels with Rav Orish, thank God. And then we have all the wonderful new speakers. Exciting. Moshe Gusht is our first speaker, featured on the successful TED Talk platform and beyond. I'm very excited to have someone like that join our retinue. He's an amazing person, teacher, guide, and he did an amazing job on the TED Talk platform as well as putting out a bestseller book. It's All the Same to Me, with more amazing content coming. I'm going to be having a meeting with him soon, so we'll update specifically at some point on our platforms all the amazing things he's going to be doing. You can check him out, Moshe Gerst, at Moshe Gerst. He's also a rabbi as well, so give him that credit that he deserves. And something that, being that I've traveled a bit and I've asked around, and he's one of the names that keeps coming up again and again. And in our most recent class, someone asked some great questions based on that appearance when he joined us in our studio in Jerusalem with Rav Orish. Thank God, it was an amazing class. Let's go ahead. So we have Sol Binkoff also from LA, amazing speaker, very interesting person who's really not only an inspirational speaker, but he's also on DreamWorks, Disney animator, does amazing things. And he's someone who I recommend reaching out to. I do apologize about some of the sound around me, but we are in an office and someone just walked in, so you just have to excuse me for some of the sound. We also have Rudy Rochman. Rudy Rochman is coming in hopefully this Sunday. That's exciting. First time meeting him in person and hosting him in our studio with Diane Elgod would be the host, as well as myself, the MC. It'd be amazing to bring him here and have his activist energy. We're going to talk about this in this week's class, the idea of being more proactive, getting stuff done, being more action orientated, not just the praying and the spiritual side and the learning and the theoretical side, but it's actually about bringing action. And we know there are many organizations who are excellent at that, and there's also personality. So Rudy Rochman is one of those personalities. As an activist, he's bringing real change into people's minds and hearts by going out there and discussing and making things happen. And he's someone who I really hope you get to see the opportunity to meet in real time. So Rudy Rochman can be booked through our platforms. Go below, unityinspiresprojects@gmail.com, and you have the opportunity to connect to Rudy and have him come in person to discuss any up-to-date challenges your community's having. Specifically, obviously, anti-Semitism is a massive thing. He's combating that in a huge way, and all the different platforms and circles. And someone I get a lot of inspiration seeing is his ability to discuss. It makes me think of Ben Shapiro in a different way, but I'm not at that point of booking Ben Shapiro. So we really would like to discuss with him personally anti-soulism, not just anti-Semitism, bringing a different perspective, and we'll hopefully go there in our conversation on Sunday, and that will hopefully be added to this podcast if we're able to get it recorded and put up in a real way by the mid next week, hopefully. So you can stay tuned here and get the second part of the extra bonus episodes that we're putting here. Will be Rudy Rochman's appearance, and we're going to discuss anti-soulism and activism. So I think these are really needed discussions, and especially right now with everything going on. And so it's up to us, to really collaborate to make more unified efforts out there, and to discourage the negativity, the hatred, and the negative, divisive energy that's online by bringing a more clear, thought out, professionally presented discussion. And that's Rudy Rochman. He is a star of this, and he's helping once again bring a lot of unity to not just Israel and the Holy Land, but the whole world in these discussion points. Let's go now to our next Unity booking speaker. Now, he's also a rapper, but he has an amazing skill to educate people. Ari Lesser, we had him on. Hopefully, I do believe I put it on the previous episode, his appearance, and you can check that out. Ari Lesser is an old friend who's been traveling around educating people through music and word play, for being a speaker in a different way, a melodical speaker. The way he'd say it is a word speaker. I don't know, there's some sort of word for it to exactly describe what he does, but best way to check it out is actually go and listen to the episode and hear it from himself, how he describes himself and what he's doing. And you can Google Ari Lesser and get a big amount of content that he's put up over the years. And he's also somebody who's getting rid of anti-Semitism through his content, but also educating people of the power of scripture in a rap style way. So he can come to your events if you need an educational event or a school event or visit a tour somewhere. He's an amazing, intelligent guy and very spiritual, good friend of mine. We're also excited once again to remind you, we already have mentioned in the past, we'll bring it up just one more time, Shlomi Zions. Obviously, he's going to be in America in July time, as well as Nissan Black and other people, I assume. But Shlomi Zion specifically reached out to remind me that he'll be there, and we hope to be doing some great projects in the future. In the meanwhile, he is very busy putting together some awesome content as always, so keep an eye out for him. And if you want his energy and his tour, unity, focus, traveling, YouTuber vibes, then please reach out to us. We're happy to provide the service of booking him. Shlomi Zions from the Ami magazine, other ways you'll know him from Peter Sanatello, and he recently did amazing work with Lipa Schmaltz, someone who I get a lot of inspiration from his creative flow. Now, Jodeci Joseph is still around, thank God, I haven't forgotten him. We have other speakers as well, but I want to just remind you about Jodeci because he's great for school programs, really, really good energy, and I'd love to bring him to your program and camps as well. And so just reach out. We have this long list, and it's good to know all our speakers of Unity bookings are non-exclusive. So our goal is a win-win opportunity for all involved and inspired, and we want to give you a shout out that we're going to constantly update everything as time goes on, and the idea is to be active, to make a difference, to not let the negative energy out there in the world that's bringing a lot of like doom and gloom vibes take over our minds and hearts, God forbid. We want to put out a lot of content as we do weekly in Our Moon as Our Future, but we'd like to do that here as well through our speakers, constantly giving more and more opportunities for them to, and the artists as well, to be at your simchot, to be at your events, and to join your community in person. As we said already, it can be an online experience, and you can also support us at paypal.com, PayPal me gold with the slash sign or whatever the the line one, I've forgotten it, going in the direction, Goldsmith Ellie, so Goldsmith Ellie on PayPal, or use my email I've mentioned a bunch of times. I'll put it in the link below. Be kind, unity blessings, that's my hope as I'm going to post this all today, and very excited that we were able to do some amazing work the last few weeks, and I am also excited that I'm actually doing my own talk this week for awesome students, so I'm going to put that here as well as a new episode that will go up hopefully by the end of the week. Awesome students are inviting me to make some sort of kumzit kind of event for their students, and it's the first time I'm returning to their program in a bunch of years. I think it was about 3 years ago I was there last, and they've grown a lot, and Yoni Abadi is the one who's coordinating that, so I'll be there. Awesome students. It gives me a chance to also keep sharp my speaking skills and do some inspiring work, as back in the day as a Midnight Rabbi. I also had the pleasure to meet Tamir Goodman, someone who I'd love to host at some point. If there's ever a bigger, larger opportunity or event, I thank God have a working relationship with him, even though he's not hustling. He doesn't need the Unity Bookings platform at this point, because he's doing some great things on his own and with other people that he's already aligned with before I came. But he's still open-minded to, if we can put together a larger story, he'll consider it. So come back to me, and I'm happy to make that happen. If you have any Unity events or larger projects you want to be busy with, I'm happy to include Tamir Goodman as someone that we can collaborate with in the future, and he's an amazing, kind role model for us. So that's a lot going on. I do want to remind everyone that part of the Unity Flow is that we just had Shavuot, and now we're going into summer months. We need to keep the inspiration going. So personally, I have the Daf Yomi Rebbe. I have a picture on my platforms of him, Yehuda Meir Shapiro, someone who inspires me, and to keep up learning on a daily level, on some level, something. If it's not the Daf Yomi, if you're not into the Talmud, then at least it should be maybe some Chumash Rashi, or in English, or some basic learning. Chassidut, personally I learn Tanya, all these things I do daily, and it keeps me alive. Garden of Emunah series you can always get hold of through us, as well as all the wonderful other people that we're working with. So I just want to give a big shout out and thanks to everyone who listens, and we hope in the summer months to have some great announcements with people like Gedalia Fenster coming to the Holy Land. It'd be amazing to be able to do an event together with him, and there's just so much, awesome opportunities in 2022. It's just a matter of bringing them alive, and I know that my soulmate and other people around in my sphere of influence and close circle are seeing this potential bubbling. It's just a matter of us making it happen. And by the way, I do have 2 Spanish guitarists. If you ever need some Spanish guitarists to add to your simcha, have them as well as part of people I've been booking for recently. They will also join us in Amsterdam. So once you discuss with me directly, there's a lot of options, and we can make this happen that will work to bring the most unified experience for your simcha, that you should be able to enjoy it. It should go smooth, and everything should be taken care of in a professional, happy way, that we go ahead together in life knowing that our life can be meaningful and proactive and positive. Sending love, share your unity flow, and this is mine. Wish you much respect.
Also, you get to be Rav Arush.
Welcome to our 74th Emunah class. We are here today in Yerushalayim Ur Kodesh, special class with Dr. Benji Epstein. Very happy to have him in the house, and we're very happy to begin together on this hot day, thank God, with Beinani Official. Yes, right. We're going to get more into our wonderful guests in a moment. I'm just making sure everything's working on our side. A little bit of manias, as they say, thank God. And we're very happy that you guys made it to another week after Shavuot. And we had a wonderful live class with previous guests, the Shefa Band, and their song, thank God, went out to the world and brought down a lot of divine Shefa. Everyone felt that, yeah?
Yeah, I felt it.
There's good energy. So, Baruch Hashem, we're going to be putting out the Ari Lesser song soon, Be Here Now. Going through some editing, and that brings us to the focus of today's class, living in the presence. That the day we put out the Be Here Now song, and we have some drinks, getting to our guests, thank God, to our wonderful studio team, we're living in the present. That was the picture that came into my Twitter account, which I don't usually get so much messages on for Brez of English, and here it was, a picture of living in the present. And that's what brought about by divine providence that we should make a class. We want to thank Gedalia Fenster as well for putting the name of Dr. Benjamin Epstein into my mind so that I knew about his wonderful teachings. They were school friends, is that correct?
Correct.
Amazing. So we're going to just go now quickly through the intro and the feedback, and we'll get to a song, and then we'll hear more from our wonderful guests. We do have some surprise children in the studio, which we're very excited, and I'm sure they're very unique and special, coming all the way from Utniel. Is that right?
Utniel, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. We have to give a shout out to Utniel. L'chaim.
Chaim. Amen.
Okay, here we go. So, we're dedicating this class, the 74th Emunah class. I'm happy to be able to say that. Unfortunately, Rav Shalom Arush is not here. That part I'm not happy about. But he's definitely giving us a blessing to make this class and make it real. So thank you again for being here. Please keep praying for Rav Shalom Ben Yemna. But we're also dedicating this class to the success of Dr. Ben Epstein and family, PhD. Is that correct?
Yes, I'll take it.
Make sure we give the full label. Yeah. And
not CB, but still.
Okay, we're getting there.
Rabbi Doctor.
Rabbi Doctor also.
Or Benji.
Asking for living in the present. And we got it. That's what we've been talking about, and we got it. We also, Beinani Official, thank you for coming special, joining us.
Just Beinani is fine.
And he's also AK Shmuel Stenger. And I had the merit to learn with his brother Chavrusa a long time ago. Remember that?
That's a big schus.
Mordechai. Yes. Is that, he goes Moti or Mordechai?
Yeah, both.
Either one.
Both,
and you're Shmuel or Sam. So we got Beinani Official in the house. It was meant to be a special visit during Shabbos Chazan during that week a year ago. And it was just too hot and too difficult. so it didn't happen for some reason. But we did advertise it.
But it laid the groundwork.
And it began open up the heart level, and he reached out, and I was so happy to be able to finally make that up together, that we could be together in person in the studio. We made it finally as our special musical guest, Shmuel Stenger and family. We bless him as well. We welcome all our guests to the Holy Land online to Eretz Yisrael with so many inspired followers. Blessings to all of our guests that come here and all the Emunah staff, and specifically all of us should be saved from all these struggles that are going on in 2022. They're still talking about Corona, would you believe it? And all these kind of things. Everyone should have full refuah shlema and full protection and be successful in everything they're doing. Amen.
Amen.
We dedicate also to the full healing, again, to Shalom Ben Yemna, to Hila Rivka Bas Masha, Chana Bas Frida. And these classes also to the elevation to the spirit, special soul of Gedalia's son. You met Gedalia's son?
I did not get the chance to meet him.
I had the merit to meet him and be in the home with him a few times on our visits. His name was and is Yerachim Daniel Ben Gedalia. Unfortunately, he's in the Olam Emes, and we dedicate our class to him. Appreciate your dedication to our Emunah classes, to the Rav's teachings. Good week. Happy mid-Chodesh Sivan. Like, time's just flying. I don't know if you feel that. Heavenly and healthy, energized summer days with Emunah, and we're sharing Emunah Global. Oh, that is the tagline. Emunah Global. Get it out there, guys. Now, we're going to give some feedback, and then we're going to get to a song. We're going to thank Rev Elgod and team for the advice on peace in the world. That was feedback that people gave. Help deal with the current challenge and prepare for the summer in the best way. Yeah, he gave us a beautiful class before Shavuot. Hazaku Baruch, the vid with Rav Oresh and Uri Zohar. Baruch Dain Emes, Harav Uri Zohar Zatzal. May your memory and legacy be blessed. I don't know if anybody here had kesher with Rav Uri Zohar.
Not personally.
Yeah.
No.
I definitely listened to many classes of his, and I know that Rav Oresh had a very strong connection with him. And worth checking out some of Uri Zohar's classes and content. Gedalia and wife, new vids. That was a little clip. Someone wrote, nice couple, very respectful, sweet to one another. Thank you for sharing. We put it up on our class. We hope to see more from them together. By the way, about the Zodiac match, this is what someone wrote. There's much more than the sun sign. It's called synasty. I don't know. And it's comparison between both full charts of all planets. So you're going to have to know more about that. Go ask Gedalia. It's not my story. Shalom Rabbeinu. Todah Rabah for your videos. Yes, that's Rav Oresh's wonderful videos. We haven't put as many up recently. I apologize. We've been doing a lot of reposting, and hopefully we'll get back to that soon. A lot of simchas, a lot of busy stuff going on in our team downstairs. We'll get more classes from Rav Oresh up soon, and we hope to have him in person again. He is speaking more in the other languages, and if you guys noticed, you can check it out on the Hebrew channels and Spanish channels. See Rav Oresh there, I think maybe even in French. The studio will have to let me know how many other languages, but for some reason English, we have to keep praying it will join us here. Ahava Todah, Amet rules, Baruch Hashem, gratitude for all. That's about Rav Yonatan Balayish class. Thank God he's one of the team we're still putting up fresh classes from. Thank you so much for these weekly videos. Hug Sameh Ali Goldsmith. That was my class, thank God. Absorbing the cheesecake vibes. Yeah, I can see. I've been absorbing it and showing on my shirt. Usually, it don't feel so tight. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so I didn't mean it that way. But thanks for pointing it out. One of our wonderful listeners, and I'm not embarrassed to quote it because it holds me accountable. Yes, we have to be healthy. I'll never forget Tony Robbins saying once in one of his big speeches how he can just take a look at someone and tell if they're doing a healthy lifestyle and doing the work. You don't have to be such a goin in Torah to figure out whether you're eating too much cheesecake or whatever. Thank you for being there with Emunah and unity. That's what someone wrote about my class, which was really the point of it. And also the absorbing the cheesecake concept was internalization. It was about internalizing the Torah. I was just making it more visual. I mean,
the Torah is compared to
cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Okay, it's definitely sweet and it's definitely tasty, and it really is Harevna, the most pleasurable thing that really we should internalize. You are the best. Very nice. So happy Rev Ralph Cohen's class got posted as a podcast. Beautiful music, wonderful insights from Dayan Elgod. The Shefa class, Baruch Hashem, beautiful. The special Hashem Yichud vid, what about unification with Rav Oresh featuring Simcha is Todah, Shalom, Ahava. Josh Crow wrote, thank you, Rab, for this teaching. May Hashem bless your life. Thank you, Hashem, for everything you give us. You've given us another class. And let's go with a song with Bainani, official, first time in the house
All right.
in a while.
Woo!
Thank God.
Thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here. Just had a kind of a long drive in from Har Chevron, but all right, music. This is a song that's called "Home with You," and it's a song that's dedicated to my Rebbitzin. I'm sure she's listening. You hit me clear as day. There was no hiding. Reminded me of when we reunited. We had to wait so long. They call it timing. Now we ride the wave. I always try to keep you smiling. There was no pressure that we hadn't been through. We keep on hoping that it won't continue. There is no falling back as I will seize you. And if I never breathe again, you know I'll never leave you. Cause you need someone to lean on, to lean on. I'll be that man that you lean on, you lean on, you lean on. Paid way above my grade. It's obvious I prayed. Why else would you relate? I'm still in love and I will make my home with you. My home with you. Forever home with you. I'm still in love and I'll make my home with you. And every step we take, they never notice. We ride above the wave and go below it. My whole world was dark, I never owned it until you came along to show me how I could transform it. That shook me up, you know I never learned to settle down. I look into my mind, my psyche give me run around. But there's a strength that you possess, nothing will take you out. So even when I feel depressed, I know I need to walk right. Cause you need someone to lean on, to lean on. I'll be that man that you lean on, you lean on, you lean on. Paid way above my grade. It's obvious I prayed. Why else would you relate? I'm still in love and I will make. Oh. And every Shabbos day we drink a cup of faith. We get a dose of faith. You're my queen every day. I'm still in love and I will make my home with you. My home with you. Forever home with you. I'm still in love and I will make my home with you. Oh, with you. Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff with Shmuel Stenge, aka Bainani Official in the house.
Thank you.
Otniel.
Thank you for having me.
We made it. We were going to do a cappella though during those 2 weeks and we got it better. We got the
Yeah, it's better with
full
the guitar.
guitar action. So, sitting next to me on the right, we jump straight to our wonderful guest. I just handed him a paper
Yes.
unknowingly. Living in the present. I'm catching you on the flow. Okay, so we usually have Rev Shalom Morish or Rev Darnell go to ask our difficult questions that, thank God, and appreciated questions that people send in. I'm going to read out the question and you can tell me if you feel comfortable answering it.
No.
You don't at all?
For a Varouche?
No, I mean, it's...
I thought I was sitting in reverse.
Yeah.
I know.
He's
So the
Varouche.
music answered in some ways.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. I just found this channel, someone wrote. I listened to my first Rabbi Orish question and answer. It was really nice. I was wondering, that's this show, thank God. And we had reposts of previous casts. I was wondering, what if you think you are doing harm to yourself? How does one know if it's a Yetzer Hara or that's what Hashem's will is? The rabbi said that no one can hurt you if Hashem does not will it. So it doesn't mean if you hurt yourself by whatever means, that is the same. I like very much what Moshe Gersh said. He was the guest that week. This guy must have watched the class. It was called It's All the Same or something like that.
Yeah.
Said about first loving yourself.
Right.
I hate myself. So
Right.
does that mean I should daven for me, or is selfish and concentrate on whatever praying I do on others? I guess the answer is both. So they're answering themselves somewhat. Daven for both, thank you. I just want to say I did try for a long time to pray for someone else first, and my prayers for those two things were not answered. What would the rabbi say to that? So I have a book here. It says professor, or doctor, and I'm hoping that you have the confidence to help us, because this week Rav Orish is not here.
I mean, it would not be appropriate for me to ever get into the realm of spiritual.
Okay.
Although in my therapeutic work, depending on where a person is, I've found that more and more people are utilizing spiritual tools to bolster their own. Meaning, in graduate school, it's certainly, the G word, God, is taken out of the therapy. But we're here in Eretz Yisrael, we're in Yerushalayim, Yer HaKodesh, and much of where people's suffering can also be attributed to feeling very distant from God, feeling very distant from their higher values and goals. This person said, about hating himself. Am I supposed to look there?
Yeah, look there.
I'm looking right there. So hating yourself. I
Timing.
remember a story from one of our spiritual teachers, one of my mindfulness teachers, Rav Moshe Weinberger Shlita, where he sat with someone, and he sat with Rav Weinberger, and he said, "I hate myself, Rebbe." And Rav Weinberger, uncharacteristically, when I was listening to the story, would seem very callous, and he said, "No, you don't. Just sort of brush it off. No, you don't." The person said, "Rebbe, you're not hearing me." He said, I hate myself." And again, Rav Weinberger sort of brushed it off, saying, "No, you don't." And he got very emphatic. He says, "Rebbe, I hate myself." And finally, Rav Weinberger took him and looked at him in the eye and says, "You can't hate yourself. You can't hate yourself because you don't know yourself."
Wow.
And when we start to really tap into essence, when we start to tap into who we really are, which is exactly what this whole idea is, and I have a haskama from Rav Weinberger, and this is the book. It's called Living in the Presence. It's a Jewish mindfulness guide to everyday life, and I'm very proud of it because it's mevusas. It's based on the teachings of our spiritual traditions. There's nothing here, like the Tanya writes in his book, and not to compare this to the Tanya, but he said that he's just a Malukad. Obviously, the Tanya was Benoni. The Tanya was somebody who has a tremendous Ba Machadesh, but I'm not. I just took our ideas that we've been focusing on, and that may have gotten away from. We may have lost the forest from the trees, because be'emes, in truth, every single thing that we do in our tradition is to connect us, is to be mechubar, to live a connected life, to be connected to who we really are. And when we tap into that, who we really are be'etzem, without all of the noise and all of the cognitive distortions, then we can really, really tap in. And for me, in terms of entering into the world of Breslov, was hearing and seeing the teachings of the tzaddik, of Rabbi Nachman, where he lived this way, and he also espoused these teachings. If you look in the Likutei Moharan, in Ayin Reish Bet, he says, "Ayom im bikolo tishmau." Today, if you listen to my voice. And Rabbi Nachman, I'm paraphrasing here, Rabbi Nachman says that a person needs to be focused on right now in their gashmius, in their physical world, and alachas kama v'kama, how much more so in their spiritual lives. He says if a person starts to think about all the things they need to do from a spiritual perspective, he says it's a masak kaved. He says it's a heavy burden, and you end up pushing things off. We talk about procrastinating, and all these spiritual maladies, all these psychological maladies, the anxiety and depression, they're all about not being fully present. And so when Rabbi Nachman says, if you just focus on what you're supposed to be doing right now, you're good. And he says, tomorrow, if you're thinking about tomorrow, olam acher legamri. That's what he says. And we believe it. You said, things are flying so fast. The time is just flying by. It's already the middle of Sivan. And the truth is if we're not able to be fully connected to what's happening right now, we end up just glossing over moments to get to that next point, and once we're finally there, we don't even know how to be there. And that ties into that message from previous year of being here now. And Eina Davar Tala Ela Be, so, the be is the be here now, of being right where you are and believing that that's where you can serve Hashem best. In whatever situation you're in. So this person who is experiencing whatever pain he's experiencing. Rabbi Nachman talks about this as well. Am I talking too much?
No, it's
perfect. You stop me, because my wife says,
I'm that kind of guy.
This guy's feeling my game. This guy gets it. But Rabbi Nachman says that everybody experiences sorrow in this world. You experience pain. You stub your toe, it's going to hurt. Right? You give birth. None of us know about that, but I imagine it hurts, right? I'm going to get in so much trouble right now. No, it's like when I have a cold, I imagine that's what it's like to give birth. But don't say that to anyone. Don't say that to anyone. No one's listening. There are actually 50,000. There are 50,000 people on right now.
Yeah.
They're 50. Eventually, I think I see the numbers. 45,000. Anyway, so we're climbing. So Rabbi Nachman says tsar is inevitable. You're going to experience pain. But Yisurin, that's optional. And that's really, from another wisdom tradition, is pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Rabbi Nachman talks about when you don't have das, you will experience Yisurin. Das is being fully mitchaber to this is what the moment is saying right now. Because das is a lashon of chibur. Das is a lashon of connection. Right? We see the first time we use the word das, it's Adam and Chava. Yeda Adam is Chava. He knew his wife. He knew him in a very, very intimate way. To be fully connected. When we're fully connected to what is, and this is the quote that I sent you, is the only way to be mitchaber to Hashem, the only way to be davuk to Hashem, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Mamale Kol Hamim, Mesoviv Kol Hamim. He's bigger. He's bigger than big, right? He's greater than great. So how do you
connected?
How do you connect? Because we believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is recreating the world at every single moment. Every single moment is another opportunity, in breath, out breath, right? By fully connecting to here and now, to this moment, you are being fully davuk to Hashem. All those thoughts in your head that are pulling you away, those are the thoughts that we have to contend with. That's where the therapeutic ways, that's the Hisbodedus, right? Hisbodedus is just coming to Hashem as you are right now. And we were talking before the show, we were talking about how people are clamoring for this practice. They just want to deepen their Hisbodedus practice. They just want to connect more and more. How do we connect with something that's so far away? We have to know it's not far away. Right? It has to be visceral. It has to be right now. It has to be hayom im bekolo tishma'u. So, yeah, did we answer this question?
I think we did.
Okay.
And I think it's something that's, thank God the person who asked has a feeling that they know the answer also. And
correct.
And that's often really the best answer, just to reveal through the question, the answer to the questioner kind of thing.
The greatest work you do therapeutically, between a client and their therapist, is for you not to tell them what to do. Meaning we trust that inner wisdom, even though sometimes they might be making a more unskillful decision in what they're doing. At that moment, it's saying, okay, what's the functionality, or why am I repeating the same mistake over and over again? And there's some wisdom there, but there's a deeper wisdom, and we want to get to that deeper wisdom of learning to really hear that voice of what's going to make you happy, what's going to make you satisfied, what's really true. And because we're so pulled in so many different directions, right? We're pulled in so many different directions. We finally just pause. Just take it. Rabbi Nachman Keseder would tell his Talmidim, he'd say, I could tell you what to do right now, but the truth is, in 2 generations from now, that might not be the best eitzah. He'd say, I'll tell you right now, hamtein. Be patient. Sit with it for a little bit before we make any hasty decisions, before we open up our mouths, to just pause and just take that deep breath. That's how the Kedushas Levi talks about how where a person believing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is recreating the world at every minute. So every in-breath, you're alive, and every out-breath, that's it. But then here comes another breath. And so here's another opportunity. Here's another minute. So I didn't do the right thing last night. I didn't even do the right thing last minute. So what's stopping you from doing it right now? Tshuva is by definition the ein va'ata elo lashon tshuva. You can only do tshuva in the here and now. Tshuva, it happened. I spoke lashon hara. What am I supposed to do? Right now, in this moment, what can you do? And we love guilt. We love to feel guilty. We think it's a mitzvah to feel guilty. Yeah. And one of the most, for me at least, and Rabbi Nachman was a genius of geniuses. He's a genius of geniuses, and I wouldn't even be able to say, there's no surface to even scratch. I'm not even, but one of the things that I live with from Rabbeinu is his focus on whatever happened, it's over. Move on. Not to do it in an insensitive way. One of my teachers also, Rav Avram Tzvi Kluger, he said this idea, right? Rabbi Nachman says, if you believe you could break it, it's a Yosef Karduner song, so that means it's famous. If you believe that you could break it, you could fix it. Now, if I took this camera, and I'm going to ask the audience here, right? If I took this camera and I smashed it, right? Do you believe that I could break it? Yeah, right? Do you believe that I could fix it? No, I wouldn't know what to do. It's broken. So, and we believe when Rabbi Nachman says something, we agree with Rabbi Nachman. He doesn't need our askama. If Rabbi Nachman says, if you break something, you can fix it, it's not talking about a high quality camera. It's talking about your relationship with the Ribono Shel Olam. The only reason you think that your connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu is severed is because that voice in your head, which is probably not coming from the healthiest place, is telling you messed up. We're not talking about ben adam l'chaver. We're talking about straight up ben adam l'makom, between you and your higher power. And if you believe you could break it, the reason why it's broken is because you believe you broke it. So right now, in this moment, akol neshima neshima tahalka, on this very breath, you could fix it. And so that's something that I think this generation, myself being the sample size of one, very much needs. And I'm very blessed that people really resonate with this message. And big people like Rav Gedalia, Rav Joey Rosenfeld, Rav Judah Michelle Shlita, all these people are very encouraging in that the best way, not the best way. I mean, for this generation right now, to connect to Hashem is to really be able to connect to this moment in whatever way you are, where you are, Ba'asher Husham. And the land that you're on is Admas Kodesh. The feet, take off your shoes right now, where you are. What's the holiest moment? What's the holiest place? What's the holiest time? It's all right now. It's all right now.
Amazing. Wow, that's really, really appreciated. And we've still got another few more things we're going to go through together with Dr. Benji Epstein. But before we do, we're going to get into a song with our Beinoni official guest. I'd just like to ask him one or two very quick questions. Sure. Beinoni official, is that like, as our other guest hinted, is that a Chabad kind of focus? And how did, I know that you've done a song about Uman and you have a kesher to Rabbi Nachman's teachings. How does that link up? And maybe you can put that together with a song and inspire us.
Right, yeah. So Beinoni official is, it's just like the YouTube channel name, but my artist name is Beinoni. And
that's good.
And that did come from the Tanya, from the inspiration of the Alter Rebbe, of the Baal Tanya.
Amazing.
Just also because the Beinoni is somebody that's always fighting and never loses. Beinoni is a winner. So that, and also I just felt like my music and myself, I'm a person that's like Bain a lot of different things, like in the middle of a lot of different things, which I also think the name Beinoni is shaykh to, and that's leading to your other question about how like the connection, because I'm very connected to Chabad, and like I daven Nusachari and I wear Chabad tefillin, and the Rebbe, the Lubavitch Rebbe, is like a father figure to me. And I'm always kind of dancing. And then, of course, Rabbi Nachman, I don't even have words to express really the connection that I have to Rabbi Nachman. It's so deep. So I'm always kind of, I'm dancing between the two worlds. I should have said Arini Mikasher before I started singing.
Seriously, right? Yeah. We do it now. It's never too late. Right now, right now.
Lead us?
I mean, if you can sing it.
Arini Mikasher. I don't have a tune for it.
Try.
Oh, yeah, okay, we'll do that one.
Ay Rebbe, Harini Mikasher et atzmi. Rebbe, Harini Mikasher et atzmi. Ay Rebbe, Harini Mikasher et atzmi. Rebbe, Harini Mikasher et atzmi.
Wow. Really appreciate you reaching out and making this happen. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I'll say one of my unforgettable moments from Uman. Can't remember which year it was, but I think it was the first time that I was Zoicha to daven in the 10 o'clock Shiner tent minyan.
Who hasn't been there?
And
what a minyan.
And Mamish, we sang, and it was like first time I made it there, and they sing this niggin before. It's one of the niggin they sing before Tkiyas the Shofar.
Sure.
And I just remembered like 1,000 people singing it, and I was bawling.
Like half an hour or so.
Half an hour, and just feeling so strongly the presence of the tzaddik, and it's something that
that's
it's
one of the
indelible.
high points for sure.
It's an indelible connection.
You want to play that at the end? You can play it.
What
Song? You know the song?
this one?
Who's that one?
No, this one. This was the one they were singing.
Oh, that song. Yeah, they sang that. That's true. But
There's
they sang
other ones.
the fast one as well. No, 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 no.
Yeah, we could sing that. Sure.
Baruch Yom Nation.
It's included in the package.
Okay, good. So yeah, they went one into the other. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the flow. So, wow, yeah, but that's the first time we've actually had that song sang in the studio. Funny enough,
Cool,
which is surprising considering it's such a foundational song nowadays.
We play it before every show.
Yeah, amazing.
You play?
I don't play well.
We'll have to have you come back with a guitar,
No.
unless you want to.
That was good. I don't think Bainani. I don't know. It might be tzaddik.
So we're going to get back to the good doctor here, and a few questions I think are in order. One, funny enough, we're all in a same age bracket, which means we're at that stage. I don't know. They call it midlife. I hope not. I hope it's actually less than midlife. Meaning we've got another 20 years till the midlife. It's 120. But we're at that time where life is very busy, and we have children, thank God, and we're living in the holiest place in the world, and we're a lot to be thankful for, all our blessings. It also comes together with a lot of struggle and responsibility and pressures to grow. And I think that's something that many people who will be listening can relate to, either wherever they are in the world, but especially if they've been in Israel and they've seen the intensity. People have it in business in the world. People have it in all kinds of things nowadays, politics and emotional well-being. How would you help us through the tools, and how would you even ask, because people all the time ask us, mindfulness, hisbodedus, they ask on those points. So my question is, how do these tools help us, if you can give some clarity what your understanding of mindfulness is in terms of, you put it as part of the book. I mean, I have to read the book more, but just as the title, how does it help us come to a good place? You mentioned somewhat before, but maybe a bit more deeper explanation.
Well, we know there's the therapeutic benefit. You have to eat. You have to sleep. You have to do some exercise. What about being present? And the effects of not being present are more subtle. Meaning, if you don't take the time to do these practices, these self-care practices, so it's not going to come up right away. It's not going to come up that day. It's not going to come up that night. But months and months and years of just chasing and running and moving, right? One of my teachers says, we've lost the ability to be human beings, but we become human doings, and we end up getting so focused on some sort of secondary reinforcement, some secondary benefit versus what's really true, what really matters to me. And I think we all know that when we take the time and sort of allow our deeper ritzonos to come out, our deeper, if we spent a minute, 2 minutes a day saying, what do I really want? And whatever comes up, see it, notice it, let it go, and then come up, ask yourself again, what do I really want? And it's often not going to be famous YouTubers. It might be, but it's sorry. But
Shout out.
Oh, shout out to the audience. Shout out to the youth. The youth. I think the youth.
That is the number one, by the way, the request that, when you ask, what do you want to grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up?
You can get a degree now. You can get a degree in social media. You can get a degree in becoming an influencer. And the irony is what's a real influencer? An influencer is a tzaddik. A tzaddik is an influencer. The mashpia. And again, there's something beautiful about being a mashpia. But how are we really mashpia on the people in our own lives? For ourselves. And we were just talking about celebrities who are so run down and so pulled in so many different directions. And I think we've been exposed to tzaddikei emes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Torah out there. There's a lot of mochin out there. There's a lot of chokhmah. But if you don't have this, if you're not able to be mitchaber this to this, and then you sit in the presence of a tzaddik, and Rav Arush should be well, what's it like to be sitting with him? Is there anything else happening in the world?
No, it's totally present.
He's totally present.
That's the Sada Shova I've seen by all Tzaddikim. The Sada Shova.
And ve'amech kulam tzaddikim, that's what we aspire towards, to be
Common
fully
denominator.
to the common denominator in our own lives, with our spouses, with our friends, with our children, with our higher power, to be fully present in that Shmona Esrei. To be even if that Shmona Esrei is with a stuffed nose and with a lack of caffeine.
I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice, right?
Until you said it.
That's why there's no mochin, Baruch Hashem. So we're just flowing here. The chef is just.
Why do you think people are afraid of the present moment?
People, you tell me. This is therapy stuff. We don't answer questions directly. We'll throw back. You tell me. You ask the question, and then people are afraid. People can't sit with their thoughts, because the truth is, your thoughts are not always your friend. There's a very, very chashuv a Jew who didn't always practice Judaism, but he definitely came back a little bit at the end, and he said, "You are not who you think you are." We believe our thoughts. We believe very strongly. And the Sforno says in the Eva Asis, when a person was punished with the sin of the Eitz Hadat, Tovara, Eitz Hadat, Tovara, you're already good, bad, I don't know, right? As opposed to Eitz HaChaim, which is really being fully integrated. And so when you get starting into that thought process and you start having negative thoughts about yourself, who does that? Why would you think negatively about yourself? And as a good therapist, and if you're looking for a therapist, do not go to a euthymic therapist who's like, yeah, everything is awesome. It's like, no, your therapist should understand the shtickle of that Mara Shchara, because we've tasted it.
Pain,
it's a real thing, but that doesn't mean that that's where you're going to be stuck.
The pain is real.
The pain is real. And being part of this world is that this is a world that needs to be rectified. And we see that through we only go through our difficulties. But again, recognizing that we could sit with our thoughts and to be able to go into his bodedus and be able to just lay it out there and say, this is, and if we believe, and we do, that the Ribbono Shel Olam is all knowing and he knows what's up. So who are we hiding from? And we often very much have a hard time so we get into this culture of doing, where we feel, okay, if I keep doing, and it's almost like an act of violence towards ourselves, where we can't just be. Shabbos is a reminder, hey, just be here now.
Amazing.
Just be here now. Just tap into it. Like, oh, I don't feel ready. It's like your feelings of not being ready doesn't change the fact that this is happening right now. And if you could get over that, if you could get through that, and say, be mitchaber to what's really happening right now. I remember right before Lag BaOmer, I was doing one of these things. I was sitting at the table and I was like rubbing my forehead, like really like, ugh. And my wife's like, are you okay? And I was like, Lag BaOmer. And she looked at me and she goes, Dimyonot, your fantasies. Like, you think that you stressing out about it is going to make you connect more? Be open. It's happening. We believe. We believe in the kedusha of tzaddikim. We believe in the Torah is coming straight. This is real. This is happening. Well, I don't feel it. Oh, I'm sorry. To quote another Jewish commentator, facts don't care about your feelings. This is happening. This is happening right now. Can we be mitchaber to what it is right now without telling ourselves it's supposed to look like something different? Because we tell ourselves it's supposed to look like something different. Who says that? Who told you that? It's supposed to be all smooth. It's supposed to be all gewaldigkeit. It's supposed to be all great. Look at the lives of tzaddikim. Look at the difficulties they went through. I remember my kid just asked me, Reb Shimon was in a cave for 12 years. Just pause. 12 years. Wow. I mean, we're all been in caves in our lives, but for 12 years. So we see that there's a lot of suffering in the world, but how do we talk to ourselves? There has to be that the way we paying attention, and then how we pay attention. B'dechilu u'rechimu, with yira, seeing really clearly, and then that ava piece, that compassion piece, which we're sorely missing. You hear people saying over and over again, I don't like myself. What about yourself do you not like? And there's clearly that barrier, that anochi that's omed beini uvencha. We just got the Torah. And we have to believe that the only way that we can get the Torah is by connecting to the now.
Amazing. I want to thank again both our guests. We're going to hopefully do one or two more songs. But before we do, we're just going to give a little shout out and thank again Dr. Benjamin Epstein.
Thank you so much.
To get into these concepts and to feel the light of Rav Arush. We don't have him in the studio in person, but thank God we have around 68 or so classes you can go back. That's why I'm constantly reposting them. So you should go over and spend time with those classes, hear the Rav speak about these concepts in real time. And as Benjamin Epstein so rightly said, I just want to make sure I get it right each time.
Just Benji.
Different aspects of your name, Baruch Hashem, Benjamin. So we have the opportunity, Baruch Hashem, to connect into the light of Rav Arush, who is so present and has that joy and that simcha. We just had a Mincha Marev here the other day. I actually put it up as a TikTok video because he turned to me and he said, Eli, smile, like Eli Amatok. We shouldn't leave out the sweet part. He said, sweet Eli, smile. And it just, that moment of connection that I got and you get on these videos when you watch the previous ones, and please God will get again in the future, that moment of a connection with a tzaddik, it does something to the nefesh, to the soul.
But what is that? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's an ineffable quality. You can't really describe it.
It's like they're looking at your soul. And I thank God, been by many tzaddikim over the years in Yerushalayim. It's one of the blessings of living here. You know, it's whenever, even when we think, you know, maybe there's more success out somewhere else or this and that, I always remind myself, think about the amount of holy people still alive, thank God, and maybe the new generation also. In Yerushalayim, you can just go around the corner and have a tzaddik look at your face and experience that presence, that moment of connection. You know, I remember the Amshanov, I mean, it was just overwhelming when he says something to you, the amount of presence there, or the Tolner Rebbe, my Rebbe, or, you know, other Rebbes, other Tzaddikim, or Rabbonim, Rav Samet as a Rav in Or Sameach, even the Kiruv Rabbonim, they thank God, the ones who have really worked on themselves, have got to a level of presence, and you see that they're able to give over joy of life, and it's amazing. So remember, the books are available on our sites. The Wonders of Gratitude, we're going to be giving 10 copies to our guests, hopefully, and to both guests, we'll be giving them svarim and booklets, loving every person. I think there's a new edition with great devotion. It says here specifically every Jew, but we like to be inclusive here because all of humanity needs the love nowadays. Amen. And that's the focus we have in these classes. It's a unity focus, united soul focus. I want to thank again our host, Rav Arush, and all the Rabbonim who make this place happen, all the team. It's very important. We're going to go into another song so we get some energy to round off the class before Mr. Epstein or Dr. Epstein speaks again. And we'll go into a song so we can have energy, the right kind of energy, the right way of moving forward. Let's go.
All right. This is my last song.
No, you got two.
Two more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this
encore.
This is a song you can choose, and then we're gonna end off the class. Maybe the
Uman song.
Yeah.
So the Uman song will be last.
That's it. You got it. You got the flow.
So this song is called Deep Roots, and it's a song about making Aliyah. So and a little bit of the
that's
the kavanas.
Big tikkun for the Chet HaMeraglim.
Yeah, Pasha Shlach Lecha.
There we go.
Never going back, cause you know it's not equal. Here I take a stand, I'm standing with my people. Feel it deep inside, connection to what's real. Hear it in the name, Israel. And although I ain't committed, I admit I lose my zeal. Thinking about that past life and the fast meal. Crack of the whip, oh how my mind reels. What a bad trip, I was ready to kneel. Now I'm walking further and further along the path of my father, screaming murder and murder, you enemies don't even bother. We wandered, but never forgot, hoped and prayed to return to the spot. All the way back, you know that we fought divine, inspired never to stop. We got deep roots, I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. Living in the white and blue, the only land we call home. We got deep roots, yeah, we gotta stay strong. Pray we gonna stay strong. Haters wanna die, but they could just move along. Just move along. Hey, whoa, just move along. Hey. Home is where it's at, I'm raising up my children. My grandfather says do it for the 6 million they wanted to destroy, send us to oblivion. Now we're planning for us, prophecy fulfillment. I'm blessing all the soldiers watching over when we're sleeping. Walking among these heroes, I'm a humble civilian. We wanna build it up, his holy dominion. Do it in the honor of martyrs, we make him living. Flying trying up to pull it down. I wanna scream it all around. Redemption come, it can be found, but only when I look inside. Coming from far away, I wanna integrate when it gets hard. I try to appreciate out of the beauty in people and really stay no matter what you've been hearing to say. We got deep roots, I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. Living in the white and blue, the only land we call home. We got deep roots, yeah, we gotta stay strong. Pray we gonna stay strong. Haters wanna doubt, but they could just move along. Just move along. Oh, hey, just move along. Whoa, yeah. Israelites unite, we all need each other to fight. We all living under his sights, we all wanna see the end of the night. A mighty nation renewed, who made the desert bloom, who fought 7 enemy armies while the world left us for doomed. Haters wanna doubt, but it's just fake news. You don't need to be a detective to see evidence of the truth. Moving slowly, but you better bet it's looming. Try to stop it, but they're losing. Now we're choosing love and the way we build these ruins. We got deep roots, I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. Living in the white and blue, the only land we call home. We got deep roots, yeah, we gotta stay strong. Pray we gotta stay strong. Haters wanna doubt, but they could just move along. Just move along. Whoa, yeah. We got deep roots. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, we got deep roots.
Amazing.
The roar of the crowd.
Woo! Yeah.
50,000 people.
Yeah, 50,000. No cheering online.
20 million Yehudim.
Let's make it happen. So we're going to now round off the class with some closing words from our special guest. Don't forget, check out the Living in the Presence book. This is the one to go check it out on Amazon and all the normal locations that people get books these days. Really worth reading. I'm going to have a read of it as soon as possible.
It's a nice Haskama from Weinberger, by the way.
Oh, Moshe Weinberger gave us Haskama, one of our guests in a previous class. And we hope, please God, to go ahead with such special guests in the coming weeks. We're going to be having Rudy Rochman in the house, hopefully a week from now. First time we're hosting him as well in our studio. And he's someone who is a very established, how would you say it?
Advocate.
Very good. That's a good way of, appreciate that word, advocate. And also another word where someone's very dynamic and impacting. There's a word for it. I just went out of my head. I don't know. You
could call him an influencer, I guess.
Influencer, definitely an influencer.
Powerhouse.
Okay, the word I had in mind, but you actually got better words. So that's why we've got such good guests this week. They really filled in without Rav God here. Rav Daniel will be back, Baruch Hashem, and we're always praying for Shalom Ben Yemna to join us in the studio. But the most important thing is our guest is going to teach us as we end off the class is living now. We're here. This is the way Hashem wanted it. Us three fine gentlemen together in the Holy Land in Yerushalayim. Let's tune in to what Hashem's giving us as a closing message. Thank you.
I want to express my gratitude, the wonders of gratitude. Gratitude is when you are really fully present with what's happening right now, till you got to hear right now, every single moment that got you to where you are, and you say, Toda Rabba. So thank you to the beautiful, beautiful music of Beinoni. I'm just introduced to it, and I'm excited to check it out. And to Rav Goldsmith, really just an unbelievable job of curating all this talent and the speakers and the music and all the Shem Shemaim, all to bring Kvot Shemaim into the world through Lasos Nachas Ruach. And we just read in this past week's Parsha, Vayas Cain Aharon. Vayas Cain Aharon. That Aaron did as he was commanded, which on the surface level isn't such a big deal, right? If God tells you to do something, it makes sense to do it. But Vayas Cain Aharon is, Rashi explains, the Hagid Shvacho Shel Aaron Shaloshina, that he didn't change. Whatever the situation called for himself, he brought his full presence to, and he brought every single ounce and fiber of his being with an attitude of Cain. Yes. He was saying yes to everything, because if this is the way it's happening, then this is the way it's supposed to be. And obviously there are going to be situations where you're going to have to change them. But before you change them, you're going to have to fully acknowledge them and say, okay, right now it's like this. Vayas Cain Aaron. So blessing myself and blessing everyone here in the studio to be able to say fully with our full hearts and minds and souls connected with the presence of tzaddikim, to say Cain, 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 Vayas Cain Aaron to every single part of the things that are a little bit more unskillful, the things that we're prouder of, and then ultimately to spread that light out into the world and to continue to, like you said, to tap into our deep, deep roots. Ashrenu shezachinu lizkarav l'Rabbeinu, and to hopefully get closer to who we really are. V'amech kulam tzadikim, spreading the love to the fellow Yid and also to the whole world. Really from a small, beautiful studio in Yerushalayim and broadcasting to hundreds of thousands of people. So thank you so much.
Amen.
Thank you so much. What a schus.
Amen. And that's one of the things we ask you actively. That's the word I was looking for. Activist. We have to be proactive and get the message out there. It's up to you to spread the teachings of Rav Shalom Arush.
Yes.
He wants that more than anything. He'd be doing it himself if he could. So we have to do that shlichut, shlach lecha, do our shlichus, our shlichut, and be those messengers of Hashem, truly. And we thank our messenger of mindfulness and living in the present and healthy well-being. And please check him out. What's the most placed? Benjamin Epstein.
I'm working on a website, drbenji.com.
drbenji.com.
It's a work in process.
So you have a location, and check out Beinani Official. He's going to finish off our class of a Leibedika song from Uman. And by the way, the Arush family made it to Uman. Not Rav Arush, but the Rabbani and one or two others are in Uman currently as we're speaking. Oh, wow. And I got a picture from them, Motzi Shabbat. So they're by the Sion of Rabbi Nachman this weekend. So they're praying for us, and that gives us hope that we'll be able to make it back to Uman. And over here is a wonderful haskama on the book. Living in the Presence is a work of art that could have only been written by someone who's truly living in the present. My dear friend Dr. Benji has his finger on the pulse of a turbulent generation, one that is seeking more than ever practical path of mindfulness and emunah. To live by this is a treasure. Well, beautiful words from Moshe Weinberger, Shlita. And I know, being in Uman, if we can make it there, if we're not, we're where we're meant to be. But if we can make it there, it's a place of presence as well, whoever's experienced it. And that's why we're going to end off with a song from Uman. So let's do it.
Great.
Thank you for having me.
Can I just do one? Yeah, I'll just also say thank you to Rav Eli for having me, and
you reached out. Thanks to the wife and kids for
thanks to my bodyguards for joining me today.
Squad.
It's the key.
And
keep shining, guys.
I think you mentioned before, like Chabad and Breslev, and one of the main things that the two movements have in common is this idea of hafatza, of you can only fix yourself by worrying about somebody else, by spreading truth, by spreading Avas Yisrael, by doing acts of goodness and kindness, by spreading the teachings of Chassidus. And that's something that I always want to do. So thank you for inviting me here to help me share what I have to share.
You reached out, and everyone can reach out. You guys, musicians, fellow musicians of Beinani and other people, you have friends. We'd love to have Judah Michel. We've had him,
Rabbi of the world.
We've had a Judah Michel on this piece of paper
for
about a year, and he's still not made it here. So if you have any influence on him,
I could try.
Make it happen. Okay, let's go.
Judah Michel, if you're listening to this, they need to get
We love you. We love you.
Hope to see you soon. All right, so this is a song that I wrote about my experience of my enthusiasm for going to Uman. It's called Get Yourself. And I actually have a bit of an edited version from the original just for this broadcast. So
wow, exclusive.
Get yourself on a plane, knowing that you'll never be the same. Uman Rosh Hashanah in Ukraine, in the end. It's been a long year, but I can see the light from all the stress built up like a stalactite. I tend to hold tight when I should let go. Flight leaves at midnight, lands at 3:45. I'm in an old world to turn a new page. Picked up on my side curls to get my head straight, but I can't do it alone. I'm made for give and take. That's why when Elo come around, you're always gonna hear me say, get yourself on a plane, knowing that you'll never be the same. Uman Rosh Hashanah in Ukraine, in the end, you'll be glad you came. help you find your song. Here we are united, here we are uplifted. Good to see you, Barabeinu, feeling so gifted. Yeah, we went the distance, battled our resistance. Give a proof to say the Tikkun spiritual fix it. And we know he listens when we bare our soul. Gonna turn you on to this, it's obviously dope. Less about flying high and shining light below. Baki Baratzo, Baki B'Shov. And before you go, linger by the Tzion. Feeling so at peace cause we got big shoulders to lean on. Pull me out of darkness, make me a believer. Tzaddik is Sod Olam, you can't go wrong, now let me hear ya. Oh, get yourself on a plane. You know that you'll never be the same. Oh, Uman Rosh Hashanah in Ukraine. In the end, you'll be glad you came. So come on, all my brothers, join along. It doesn't matter if you've done right or wrong. You know you need the tzaddik to stay strong. In the end, you'll be glad you came. Let Rabbeinu help you find your song.
That's enough with Orach Yomim.
Okay.
Go.
Yo vayrech yamim asdiyeyu ay la 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 ay la 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 la.
Dancing, it's gonna ruin the screen. You went beyond.
Everyone's gonna stand there and scream. You gotta keep more on. I gotta say.
We'll see you next week. Good energy.